The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. Whenever two people meet, there are really 6 people present. There is each man as he sees himself, each man as the other person sees him, and each man as he really is. Be not afraid of life. Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. If you can change your mind, you can change your life. The deepest principle in human nature is the craving to be appreciated. The great use of life is to spend it for something that will outlast it. Nothing is so fatiguing as the eternal hanging on of an uncompleted task. Whenever you're in conflict with someone, there is one factor that can make the difference between damaging your relationship and deepening it. That factor is attitude. Anything you may hold firmly in your imagination can be yours. Good humor is a philosophic state of mind. It seems to say to nature that we take her no more seriously than she takes us. I maintain that one should always talk of philosophy with a smile. Our view of the world is truly shaped by what we decide to hear. Begin to be now what you will be hereafter. If you believe that feeling bad or worrying long enough will change a past or future event, then you are residing on another planet with a different reality system. Wherever you are, it is your friends who make your world. Human beings, by changing the inner attitudes of their minds, can change the outer aspects of their lives. My experience is what I agree to attend to. Beyond the very extremity of fatigue, distress, amounts of ease and power that we never dreamed ourselves to own, sources of strength habitually, not taxed at all, because habitually we never push through the obstruction. Genius and truth means little more than the faculty of perceiving in an unhabitual way. Actions seems to follow feeling, but really actions and feeling go together, and by regulating the action, which is under the more direct control of the will, we can indirectly regulate the feeling, which is not thus the sovereign voluntary path to cheerfulness. If our cheerfulness be lost, is to sit up cheerfully and to act and speak as if cheerfulness were already there. Do every day or do something for no other reason that you would rather not do it, so that when the hour of dire need draws nigh, it may find you not unnerved and untrained to stand the test. We forget that every good that is worth possessing must be paid for in strokes of daily effort. We postpone until those smiling possibilities are dead by neglecting the necessary concrete labor. By sparing ourselves the little daily tax, we are positively digging the graves of our higher possibilities. We have grown literally afraid to be poor. We despise anyone who elects to be poor in order to simplify and save his inner life. If he does not join the general scramble and pant with the money-making street, we deem him spiritless and lacking in ambition. Science, like life, feeds on its own decay. New facts burst old rules, then newly divined conceptions bind old and new together into a reconciling law. There is no more miserable human being than one in whom nothing is habitual but indecision. Philosophy is an unusually stubborn attempt to think clearly. Why should we think upon things that are lovely? Because thinking determines life. It is a common habit to blame life upon the environment. Environment modifies life, but does not govern life. The soul is stronger than its surroundings. When a thing is new, people say, "It is not true." Later, when its truth becomes obvious, they say, "It is not important." Finally, when its importance cannot be denied, they say, "Anyway, it is not new." There are two lives, the natural and the spiritual, and we must lose the one before we can participate in the other. When you have to make a choice and don't make it, that is, in itself a choice. Age is a very high price to pay for maturity. The strenuous life tastes better. A man has as many social selves as there are distinct groups of persons about whose opinion he cares. He generally shows a different side of himself to each of these different groups. This life is worth living, we can say, since it is what we make it. Your hopes, dreams, and aspiration are legitimate. They are trying to take you airborne, above the clouds, above the storms, if you only let them. If you wish to upset the law that all crows are black, you mustn't seek to show that no crows are. It is enough if you prove one single crow to be white. As a rule, we disbelieve all the facts and theories for which we have no use. If this life is not a real fight, in which something is eternally gained for the universe by success, it is no better than a game of private theatricals from which one may withdraw at will, but it feels like a real fight. A man with no philosophy in him is the most inauspicious and unprofitable of all possible social mates. Each of us literally chooses, by his way of attending to things, what sort of universe he shall appear to himself to inhabit. Whilst part of what we perceive comes through our senses from the object before us, another part, and it may be the larger part, always comes out of our own mind. The prevalent fear of poverty among the educated classes is the worst moral disease from which our civilization suffers. Selection is the very keel on which our mental ship is built, and in this case of memory, its utility is obvious. If we remembered everything, we should on most occasions be as ill off as if we remembered nothing. The community stagnates without the impulse of the individual. The impulse dies away without the sympathy of the community. The lunatic's visions of horror are all drawn from the material of daily fact. Our civilization is founded on the shambles, and every individual existence goes out in a lonely spasm of helpless agony. None of us are ever who we were yesterday